Some houses look peaceful from the outside, but inside, the silence screams louder than words. And some truths are so heavy, they break the person who finds them. Today's story is about a woman who only asked for love, but received betrayal wrapped in a smile. I'm Auntie Layla, and this is her truth. He told me, "You're my whole world," but his eyes said something else. I carried his child, while his heart carried someone else. Every night, he came home late. Every morning, he avoided my questions. I kept hurting in silence, and he kept lying with ease. Then one day, I found a file that shattered my reality. Inside it, I saw proof. He was preparing a life without me, and replacing me while I was still alive. I had been married for 5 years, and for the first time, I was pregnant. It should have been the happiest phase of my life, but my home felt colder than ever. My husband Ryan wasn't the same anymore. He snapped at small things, hit his phone, and avoided eye contact. At first, I blamed my mood swings, thinking maybe I was imagining it. But no, this was the beginning of something darker. One evening, he said something that froze my heart. "Emma, stop creating drama."
I'm tired. No worries.
No concern. Nothing like the man I had fallen in love with. My excitement about becoming a mother slowly turned into fear. Something was wrong, terribly wrong. And then one single paper changed everything. The paper wasn't even hidden properly. It slipped out from Ryan's laptop bag when he left for work. I bent down slowly, my pregnant belly making even simple movements heavy, picked it up, and felt my pulse stop. It wasn't a bill, not office documents. It was a legal form, a Form 4, change of home ownership, primary beneficiary update. But the beneficiary's name wasn't mine. It was a woman named Claire Dawson. And under her name, in small letters, it said, "Relationship to applicant, partner."
Partner.
Not colleague, not cousin, not friend.
Partner.
The room spun around me. My chest burned. My hands went cold. For a moment, I thought I was going to faint. I sat down on the couch, holding the paper like it was a burning coal. I tried to steady my breath, but tears blurred everything. "What is this, Ryan?" I whispered to the empty room. But deep down, I already knew. This wasn't a mistake. He was planning to give our home, the house we built together, to another woman. And he didn't even bother hiding it. My baby kicked inside me, as if sensing my fear, my pain. I placed a hand on my stomach and whispered,
I'm sorry.
"I'm so sorry you had to feel this." For the next hour, I sat frozen, staring at the paper, trying to calm the storm inside me. Finally, I forced myself to stand. I wiped my tears. I needed answers. So when Ryan came home that night, later than usual, smelling of a perfume that wasn't mine, I held the paper up. "Who is she?" My voice was quiet. Too quiet. He looked at the paper, and instead of guilt, instead of fear, I saw annoyance in his eyes. "Emma, you need to stop touching my things." Not, "Let me explain." Not, "It's not what you think." Just irritation. My heart cracked. Is she the reason you're avoiding me? Is she the reason you don't come home? Is she the reason this house is no longer mine? He sighed deeply, like I was being dramatic. "We'll talk later," he said.
I'm tired.
And he walked past me.
Walked. Past. Me.
Leaving me standing there, pregnant, shaking, and falling apart. That night, I cried silently until my pillow was drenched. But somewhere between the tears and the heartbreak, a small flame of anger began to grow. If he thought I would break quietly, he didn't know me at all. Tomorrow, I would find the truth. And not from him. The next morning, Ryan left early again. He didn't kiss me goodbye. He didn't ask if I slept well. He didn't even look at me.
Good.
I didn't need him to look at me. I needed him to slip, and he finally had. I took the paper and opened my laptop. I typed the name. Claire Dawson, city name. The first result wasn't a Facebook profile. It wasn't LinkedIn. It wasn't Instagram. It was an obituary. My blood went cold. Obituary? Was this a dead woman? Why would Ryan make her the beneficiary? I clicked the link, and when the page opened, I felt the room tilt. The obituary had two pictures, one of Claire, and one of a young girl standing beside her. A girl who looked almost exactly my age. Underneath their photo, it said, survived by her daughter, Lily Dawson.
Daughter.
Not cousin, not niece.
Daughter.
My heartbeat filled my ears. I went to Facebook, typed Lily Dawson. A profile appeared instantly. I clicked, and there she was, alive, smiling, around my age, with the same dark eyes as Ryan, the same jawline, the same slight dimple near her left cheek. My stomach twisted painfully.
No. 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 No.
My brain refused to accept what my eyes clearly saw. Was this girl Ryan's daughter? Had he lived a second life? A second family? Had he cheated on me not once but for years? Decades? My hands shook as I scrolled until I hit the photo section. And then everything collapsed. There he was,
Ryan,
standing beside Lily, arm around her shoulder, smiling. At a graduation ceremony, my knees buckled. I fell on the floor, clutching my belly, trying to breathe. He wasn't just betraying me. He wasn't just cheating. He had another family, a daughter my age, a life I never knew existed. And he was planning to give them everything. The house, the assets, the future that should have been ours. A sudden sharp pain tore through my stomach. I gasped, clutching my belly. No, not now, please. The pain shot again, deeper, harder. I crawled to reach my phone, dialed 911 with trembling hands. Ma'am, stay calm. Help is coming. But I wasn't calm. I was bleeding, shaking, losing the little life inside me, all while discovering the biggest betrayal of my life. The ambulance siren echoed faintly in the distance, and as I lay there on the floor, tears streaking down my face, one thought repeated over and over in my mind. He didn't just betray me, he replaced me. The hospital lights were too bright, too white, too clean for the mess I felt inside. A nurse pressed a cold cloth to my forehead as I drifted in and out of consciousness. Her voice sounded distant, like it was coming from underwater. Stay with me, sweetheart. You're losing a lot of blood. I wanted to answer. I wanted to tell her everything. The paper, the daughter, the betrayal. But my voice wouldn't come. Another wave of pain hit. Sharp. Final. Like something tearing away from me forever. When I woke again, the room was silent. Too silent. A doctor stepped inside. A woman with soft eyes and a voice filled with practiced empathy. Emily, I'm so sorry. My heart sank before she even said the words. You lost the baby. The world didn't crumble. It collapsed. Every dream, every plan, every tiny hope, gone. I felt my chest tighten until breathing became a battle I was losing. I tried to speak, but only a broken, gasping sound escaped. The doctor squeezed my hand gently. You're not alone. You'll get through this. That was the worst part. I was alone. Because the one person who should have been there, who should have held my shaking hand, kissed my forehead, and cried with me, wasn't there. He didn't call. He didn't text. He didn't show up. The nurse came in again. Ma'am, should we contact your husband? He hasn't responded to our calls. I forced myself to sit up, wiping tears that kept returning on their own. No, y whisperat. Don't call him again. Because now I knew the truth. He wasn't busy. He wasn't stuck at work. He wasn't unreachable. He simply didn't care. A few hours later, the nurse returned with my discharge papers. But she hesitated at the door. There's someone asking for you. My stomach clenched. Ryan? No. He wouldn't come. He had a daughter to be with. A life he was protecting. I braced myself, But when the door opened, my breath caught in my throat. It wasn't Ryan. It was the girl. The girl from the obituary photos. The girl from the Facebook profile. The girl who looked like him. Lily. She stepped into the room slowly, clutching her bag, her eyes full of something between guilt and fear. Emily? I think you're my... She stopped, because I already knew, and the pain in my chest had never felt heavier. Lily stood frozen in the doorway, like she wasn't sure if she should come in or run away. Her hands trembled as she held the strap of her small shoulder bag. She looked so young. Too young to carry the weight of a secret like this. I swallowed hard, my heartbeat echoing in my ears. Close the door, I whispered. She stepped inside quietly and shut it behind her, leaning back against it as if her knees might give out. For a moment, neither of us spoke. Her eyes glistened, not with pity, not curiosity, but guilt. Emily, I'm sorry, she finally said, her voice cracking. I shouldn't have come, but I had to. Why? I asked. My voice was tired, drained, brittle. Lily took a shaky breath. Because I think you deserve to know the truth. The whole truth. My stomach twisted. There was more? Does your father know you're here? I asked, my voice trembling. She shook her head immediately. No. He'd be furious. Of course he would. He'd spent years hiding her, protecting his double life. While I slept beside him, loved him, defended him. Lily hesitated, then stepped forward slowly. I know this sounds crazy, but I'm not here to ruin your life, Emily. I'm here because I found something, and once I saw it, I knew I couldn't stay quiet. She pulled a folded piece of paper from her bag. My chest tightened. Another paper. Another secret. Another cut to bleed from. She placed it gently in my hands. I found this in my mom's things, she whispered. Her mom. The woman from the obituary. My fingers shook as I unfolded the paper. It wasn't handwritten. It wasn't a letter. It was a legal document. A custody agreement. With 2 names on it. Ryan Thompson. And Sarah Bennett. But what made my vision blur wasn't their names. It was the signature line under child's future guardian. My name was printed there. Emily Thompson. Lily's voice was barely audible. My mom made my dad sign that years ago just in case something happened to her. She wanted you to be my guardian. Not him. My breath caught. What? Why me? Lily looked at me with eyes filled with a pain I couldn't yet understand. Because she didn't trust him. The room tilted. The walls felt like they were closing in. Lily stepped closer. She knew he would lie. She knew he would hide me. She knew he cared more about protecting himself than protecting me. Tears spilled down her cheeks. And she knew you wouldn't. A lump formed in my throat, thick and heavy. I stared at the custody document, at my own name printed there like a cruel twist of fate. Lily wiped her tears with the back of her hand. There's more, she whispered. My pulse stumbled. More? More than losing my baby. More than discovering my husband's secret daughter. More than finding out her mother didn't trust him. What else? I whispered, barely holding myself together. She took out her phone, opened a photo, turned the screen toward me. My world stopped. Completely. It was a picture of Ryan, his arm around Lily when she was maybe 7 or 8, and on his hand, clear as daylight, was a wedding ring. Our wedding ring. From years before he ever told me she existed. I felt the ground vanish beneath me. My husband wasn't just hiding a second family. He was living one. While living with me. I don't remember sitting down. One moment I was staring at the photo on Lily's phone, my husband's wedding ring glowing like a confession, and the next, I felt the edge of the couch beneath me, cold and unfamiliar. Lily sat across from me, wringing her hands. I didn't know, she whispered. For years, I didn't know he was lying to both of you. Both. Not just me. Her too. That realization stung deeper than I expected. How often did he see you? I forced out. She hesitated. That hesitation told me everything before she even spoke. Every week, she said softly. Sometimes more. A sharp breath punched out of my lungs. I remembered all the nights Ryan didn't come home on time, all the late meetings, all the traffic, all the dead phone battery explanations. I believed him. I defended him. But he wasn't stuck in traffic. He wasn't working late. He was with his other child, his other life, his other world. How long? I whispered. Lily looked down. I was born 12 years ago. 12 years. I felt my heart drop. We had been married for 11. He didn't cheat once. He cheated before me, during me, and around me. My entire marriage was built on a ghost. A lie wrapped in another lie. My voice cracked. Did your mother know about me? She nodded slowly.
Yes.
She found out after I was born. She confronted him once, but he promised her he'd take care of us financially if she agreed not to tell you. My stomach twisted with disgust. Money. Always money. He bought silence. He bought obedience. He bought time. Lily's eyes filled again. My mom was sick at the end. She wanted to tell you herself, but she didn't have the strength. Silence fell between us. But this silence wasn't empty. It was heavy, dangerous, loaded. Then Lily said something that made my skin crawl. Emily, there's something you need to understand. Her voice dropped into a trembling whisper. My mother believed your baby. Your loss wasn't an accident. A chill moved down my spine. What do you mean? Lily blinked slowly, trying to steady herself. She told me once that your husband was becoming more desperate. He was terrified you'd eventually discover me. Terrified you'd divorce him and take half of everything. Terrified everything he built would fall apart. My hands turned ice cold. What are you saying? I breathed. Lily reached into her bag again. Pulled out another folded paper. I felt sick. She hesitated. That hesitation told me everything before she even spoke. Every week, she said softly. Sometimes more. A sharp breath punched out of my lungs. I remembered all the nights Ryan didn't come home on time, all the late meetings, all the traffic, all the dead phone battery explanations. I believed him. I defended him. But he wasn't stuck in traffic. He wasn't working late. He was with his other child, his other life, his other world. How long? I whispered. Lily looked down. I was born 12 years ago. 12 years. I felt my heart drop. We had been married for 11. He didn't cheat once. He cheated before me, during me, and around me. My entire marriage was built on a ghost. A lie wrapped in another lie. My voice cracked. Did your mother know about me? She nodded slowly.
Yes.
She found out after I was born. She confronted him once, but he promised her he'd take care of us financially if she agreed not to tell you. My stomach twisted with disgust. Money. Always money. He bought silence. He bought obedience. He bought time. Lily's eyes filled again. My mom was sick at the end. She wanted to tell you herself, but she didn't have the strength. Silence fell between us. But this silence wasn't empty. It was heavy, dangerous, loaded. Then Lily said something that made my skin crawl. Emily, there's something you need to understand. Her voice dropped into a trembling whisper. My mother believed your baby. Your loss wasn't an accident. A chill moved down my spine. What do you mean? Lily blinked slowly, trying to steady herself. She told me once that your husband was becoming more desperate. He was terrified you'd eventually discover me. Terrified you'd divorce him and take half of everything. Terrified everything he built would fall apart. My hands turned ice cold. What are you saying? I breathed. Lily reached into her bag again. Pulled out another folded paper. I felt sick. How many secrets did he bury? I whispered. She placed the paper in my hands. I didn't know what it meant before.
But now,
I think you need to see it. I unfolded the paper. It was a hospital intake form. My eyes scanned it, heart thudding violently. Then I saw it.
clear as daylight.
Ryan Thompson. Relationship. husband. Visit reason. Medication refill. The medication name was circled. Methylorgometrine. A drug used to induce contractions. A drug used to force the body to push. A drug that could trigger a miscarriage. Especially early. My blood ran cold. Lily whispered, almost choking on her words. My mom believed he filled that prescription. For you. The room spun violently. The walls blurred. I felt my hands shake around the paper. He wanted me to lose the baby, I whispered. Not a question. A truth I didn't want to believe. But the paper didn't lie. The dates didn't lie. My body didn't lie. Lily reached forward and took my trembling hand. Emily.
I'm so sorry.
But I didn't feel sorry. I felt something else. Something sharper. Hotter. Darker. A fire awakening inside me. And for the first time since Lily arrived, I knew exactly what I had to do. I had to find my husband, and I had to hear every single lie, directly from his mouth. I didn't wait until morning. I didn't sleep. I didn't eat. I didn't even cry. I sat there, staring at the hospital form in my hand, feeling the truth burn through every inch of me. He tried to end our baby. He tried to rewrite my life. And now, I was going to rewrite his. At 2:14 a.m., I drove to his office. Lights were off. Parking lot empty. But one car stood alone.
His.
I walked through the building with the strength of a woman who'd already broken, rebuilt herself, and now had nothing left to lose. His office door was cracked open. He was inside typing.
Completely relaxed.
Completely unaware. Living a normal life. While mine had just exploded. He didn't hear me enter. He didn't see me standing inches behind him. But when I placed the hospital form on his desk, he froze. Slowly, he looked up. Emily. His voice faltered. What? Where did you? I didn't blink. Answer it, I said.
Calm. Cold. Dead.
He swallowed. His throat bobbed. I can explain.
No.
You can't. I held up the paper. You filled this prescription. For what, Ryan?
For who?
For me. He pushed his chair back, shaking his head too fast. Baby, listen. This is not what you think. I slammed my hand on the desk. Stop lying. The sound echoed through the room. He shut his eyes, inhaled sharply. And then he whispered the truth I already feared. I panicked.
Panic.
He used that word. I was juggling everything. Work, finances, my responsibilities with your secret family? I spat. His eyes snapped open, stunned. You talked to her, he whispered. Her name is Lily, I said. And she deserved better than the man who raised her in the shadows. His face twisted, anger, guilt, fear all blending. Emily, I didn't want to lose you. I laughed. A sound I didn't recognize. A sound that scared even me. You didn't want to lose me, but you didn't want me to have your baby, your money, your truth, your name, or a life you couldn't control. He stepped forward. I made mistakes. Mistakes don't need prescriptions, Ryan. His face drained of color. How much did she tell you? He whispered. Everything. He exhaled slowly, like a man deflating. He sank into his chair, rubbing his temples. I thought if you lost the baby, you'd stay. You always relied on me. You trusted me. I thought you wouldn't leave if you didn't have something tying you to independence. I stared at him. You killed our child, I said softly. His head snapped up.
No.
I didn't, Emily. I swear I didn't mean for. You killed our child, I repeated. This time with the clarity of a woman who would never again be manipulated. He stood up, tears in his eyes now.
Please.
Let me explain. Let me fix this. Let me be better. You can't fix dead, I said. You can't fix 12 years of lies. You can't fix 2 families built on betrayal. He stepped around the desk, reaching for me. I love you. I stepped back.
No, Ryan.
You loved control. Silence.
Thick.
Heavy. Final. Then something shifted in his expression. It hardened. Curdled. He realized he couldn't charm his way out of this. His voice dropped dangerously low. What are you planning to do? I met his gaze without fear. I'm going to tell the truth. He inhaled sharply, then grabbed my arm. Pain shot up my shoulder. You don't understand what you're doing, he hissed. I could lose everything. I jerked my arm free. You should have thought about that before you destroyed everything. He stared at me, and in that moment, I saw it clearly. He wasn't sorry. He was only sorry he got caught. And then he said the one sentence that sealed his fate forever. If you expose me, you'll regret it. My blood turned to ice. I looked at him, really looked at him, and I realized this wasn't just betrayal. This was danger. Real danger. I left his office without another word. But the second I reached the parking lot, my phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. When I opened it, my breath stopped. It was a photo taken seconds ago, of me, standing in the parking lot, from a distance, and underneath it, you should have listened to him. I kept staring at the DNA papers, my hands shaking so badly I could barely hold them. Everything inside me screamed that this wasn't real, that maybe the test was wrong, that maybe I misread something in my panic. But denial only works until the truth gets loud enough to crush you. And right now, it was deafening. Dad stood across the room, frozen, his face pale with a kind of fear you only see in people who finally realize the consequences of their choices. I whispered, "So, she's my sister? My age? Dad, how is that even possible? Why didn't you tell me?" He ran a hand over his face, unable to look me in the eye. "I was stupid," he muttered. I thought I could keep both families. I thought I could control everything." My voice cracked. "Both families? So, it wasn't just an affair, you built a whole life with someone else." He nodded slowly, and that nod broke something inside me, quietly, painfully, like the slow cracking of glass. Ava, the girl I had just met, the girl who unknowingly shattered my entire identity, was sitting on the sofa, eyes full of tears. "I didn't know anything," she whispered. "I swear. I didn't know he had another daughter. I didn't even know you existed." I believed her, because the hurt in her eyes looked too real to be fabricated. Mom walked in, tears streaming, but her voice steady in a way only a woman used to surviving heartbreak can manage. "I think," she said quietly, "we should let your father speak. All of it. No more secrets." Dad swallowed hard. "I met her mother years before you were born," he began. "We were young. We made mistakes. She got pregnant. I panicked. I wasn't ready." My stomach twisted. He continued, "I left her. I walked away. I thought it was the end. Years later, after I married your mother, she reached out again. And I made the worst mistake of my life. I tried to fix what I broke by breaking even more." Mom closed her eyes. The pain hit her like a wave, but she didn't collapse. She stood tall, strong, wounded, but still standing. I took a step back, feeling the room spin around me. "So you lived a double life," I whispered. "For years. While we celebrated birthdays, holidays, everything, you were splitting yourself between two homes." He didn't even try to deny it. Ava wiped her tears and said softly, "He wasn't a good father to me either. Not really. He visited sometimes. He tried to make it feel normal. But it wasn't. It never was." The silence in the room felt like a punishment. Then, without warning, Dad sank to his knees in front of me. "I'm sorry," he choked. "I'm so sorry." I stepped back again. Because forgiveness is not a reflex. It's not automatic. And it definitely doesn't come when the wound is still bleeding. "Dad," I whispered, "I don't even know who I am anymore. Everything I believed about our family was a lie." Tears streamed down his cheeks. Ava reached out, gently touching my arm. "I know you don't owe me anything," she said softly. "But can I just say this? I always wanted a sister. And I'm sorry this is how we found each other." Her voice cracked at the last word. And somehow, she was the only person in the room speaking without excuses.
I didn't respond.
I couldn't. Not yet. Dad looked between us, broken. I'll do whatever you want, he whispered. If you never want to see me again, I'll disappear. If you want the truth, I'll give it. If you want space, I'll step back. Just tell me what you need. What I needed.
I didn't even know what I felt.
I walked past him and sat down, inhaling deeply. For now, I said slowly, I just need honesty. No more secrets. No more half-truths. No more two lives. He nodded, wiping his face. Mom sat beside me, holding my hand tightly, the one constant piece of my world that hadn't fallen apart. And then, Ava pulled a folded letter from her pocket. I wasn't sure if I should give you this, she said, voice trembling. But my mom wrote it. For you, before she passed. My heart stopped. She handed it to me, with shaking hands. I opened it. If you're reading this, it means the truth has finally come out. I never wanted to hurt you. You deserved honesty, something he couldn't give you. But you also deserve to know the whole story. Your father loved you and he loved my daughter too. His mistakes were many, but you were never one of them. My eyes filled with tears. If one day you meet your sister, don't let his choices dictate your bond. She is blameless. So are you. Maybe the two of you can build something new, something honest from the ruins he left behind. By the time I finished reading, I couldn't breathe. Ava was staring at me, silently crying. Dad looked destroyed. Mom squeezed my hand, whispering, It's your choice, sweetheart. No one can force you either way. I wiped my tears and looked at Ava. And for the first time, I didn't see betrayal. I saw someone who had been just as blindsided as me. Someone who also deserved a truth she never got. Someone who had lost a mother and carried a letter meant for a girl she had never met. I whispered, Maybe we can start small. Ava nodded immediately, hope flickering in her eyes. Dad sobbed quietly. And I realized it wasn't forgiveness. It wasn't healing. It was just the first step toward something different. Something honest. And now, my dear listeners, tell me, if you were in my place, could you ever trust a parent again after a secret like this? And from which city are you listening today? If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and spread it to someone who needs to hear it.